Oh, hey! Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. This here is a song that is a mashup of the same song but two different versions. I know, right? So the first version is from Daylight. This is from the brand new heavy. So we put them up together. We gonna sing some dance. And here we go, here we go, here we go. Talking about a revolution. Or maybe just to change your mind. Working on my constitution. I began to realize it. I've been doing wrong forever. Trouble was my favorite game. Yeah. Breaking hearts, I thought I was so clever. But I'm the one who got her playing today. Never could see it coming, no. Never could feel it till it comes along. All of that don't mean nothing, no, no, no. When you're on love, sometimes you gotta do right to be happy. Sometimes you gotta believe in what you feel inside. Sometimes you gotta do right to find happiness. Yes, yes. Sometimes, hey, sometimes I'm going to the birds. I'm working on my constitution. I think no, I'm working on transformation. Ha! Then brought about a change in me. I'm human. Love's a brand new situation. Yes. Never have I felt so free. I can see it and hear it calling, and I hear it calling louder now, now, now. Love is so rewarding, yes, yes. When you let it out there, sometimes you gotta do right to be happy. Sometimes you gotta believe in what you feel inside. Hey, sometimes you gotta do right to find your happiness. Yes, sometimes, yes, sometimes, yes.
Well, all right, everyone. That is Sometimes live on Arietta Ward's new album. Thank you all for tuning in to Let's Jazz It Up. Here I am, Lady Diva, here on air. Phone lines are open. You know my guest line number. Call in. Call in. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Ward, are you with me?
I am.
Man, that track there is the jam to me. That will get me motivated. What inspired you to do that track? What was the inspiration behind that track?
The inspiration behind Sometimes was the remix, which was done by Jay Dilla. And I didn't even know that there was another version of it. But a remix has to come from an original song. So
yeah.
I started playing that over and over again, but I learned it when I wasn't singing. And that was about 13 years ago now. I wasn't singing in public. I come from a musical family, so it's embedded, but I was doing something different. But when I started to sing, I said, I want to put it in my set. And so the morphing of both versions came from a karaoke night with my mom. And she said, I want you to sing a song. I was like, okay. And she saw Sometimes, and she liked the version because I played it all the time. And when they started playing it, I said, wait a minute, this is not it. But I looked at the lyrics, and it was. And it fit. And I was like, oh, okay. So I took a part from there, a bridge part from the original, and then had the Dilla version, and I fused them together, and that's what you hear sometimes. And the lyrics, you know, Saida Garrett, she hit the ballpark, and it's from the Brand New Heavies. It's a cover by the Brand New Heavies when she was a part.
Right.
So
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that information. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. And where are you calling from?
I am calling from Portland, Oregon.
All right, Portland, Oregon fans out there, listen in, call in, and give Arietta a shout out. All right, as we move on, I will be playing some other tracks on air here. What would you tell about any of your curious listeners out there about yourself? Tell how your music journey began. What and who was your inspiration as you began singing and songwriting?
I grew up in a musical family. I'm a fourth generation music messenger. That's just that I know of. Fourth generation. My mother, Janice Marie Scroggins, she's passed on now, but she was a dream. She was a dream mom, basically. She was a child prodigy. She played the piano. She started playing when she was 2.5 years old, and so she hailed from Addy, Oklahoma, and she grew up in church. So her grandmother and her mother cultivated her gift and saw that that's what she needed to do. And so she came out here by way of Oakland and came up here to Portland, and this is where she planted her roots and became an iconic figure in the Portland music community and around the world as well. And she exposed myself and my siblings, Napasaria and Francis. She exposed us to music that wasn't considered normal, but she was always outside of the box, and she was the consummate professional. And she instilled in us the value of music, and music is us. We are music, and that's how you survive, regardless of how things are in the world. If you center yourself with music, you can do anything that you want. And by having that exposure to many different genres, you're able to maneuver, you're able to survive, because you can basically shift into different arenas, different stages. And if you appreciate it, it will appreciate you. And that's very poignant, especially with everything that's going on right now. So, I've been singing all my life, but professionally for about 13 years now. And Portland is I guess right now it's known for soul, especially overseas, but Portland has always had a very strong music community. It's kind of like the quiet, kept secret. There's a lot of players from Portland that go out with national bands, you know, but when people come through Portland, they're like, oh my goodness, they have so much music here. Yeah, we know that. And there are a lot of, there's a few groups that have made it nationally. I want to say special shout out real quick to Marley McLean. And he's from Pleasure. And Pleasure, you know, from Glide and all that. Yeah. They are from here.
I had them on my show a couple of years ago from their new album. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm actually on that as well, doing background.
Oh, my God. Shut the door.
Yes. So, music is here. Music is life. And when I started singing again, it was at the inkling of course, my family, but a gentleman named Tony Ozier. And he is, he's a very, very, what do you call it? He's a very prominent producer about the town, but generally a lot of different places. There's a lot of music that he helped cultivate, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be singing right now. So I wanted to say that and make sure that that is for everybody to hear. And it's, the Portland music scene here is amazing. And
so I'd like to ask you, who are your favorite celebrity artists?
Stevie Wonder, of course.
Just a couple in mind.
Yeah, just, Stevie Wonder and Quincy Jones.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. And Patti LaBelle. Anytime I see Patti LaBelle, I'm just floored.
Okay.
Floored.
Okay.
And yeah. Also Kim Burrell. She the one who put a spark in me that I can be a band leader. So I wanted to say that too.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So we're going to get into mentioning the new album. Why was the album named your name after you?
It was named after me because it is who I am. The album has different facets of me. It has live tracks. It has studio tracks. It has a cappella tracks. It has, the reprise of Don't Ask Questions. It has myself and Tyrone Hendrix just up there just squalling. We were having a good time, and it was just I guess it's musician humor. You just have fun and get to squall and just be all out of key, but it fits.
Yeah.
But the Arietta is me, and I had to put all of those elements in because that's how I am in person. I'm all over the gamut. You can't put me in a box.
Yeah.
I sing different genres, and if it were years ago in the traditional releasing of an album, it will be very hard. So I'm glad that it was released now, so people can pick which ones that are that are their favorites.
Yeah.
And it's something for everyone. And if it's not, I don't know who you are, but there's at least one song that grabs you and you're like, hey, I'll put this on repeat. So I'm different.
I grabbed a few of them. of them. So I'd like to ask you this. Why was the track Don't Ask Question the most pushed track out of the album? Don't Ask Questions, which I will spin after you answer that.
Don't Ask Questions. It was mainly because it was a featured track on soultracks.com, which I'm appreciative to, and thank you, wonderful people at Soul Tracks and Peggy Oliver for that wonderful, wonderful review of it. But it's an ode to classic soul, and that's something, if you're telling a story about something that many people can relate to, then it will draw you in like, oh, well, she's telling a story like this. What are the other stories that she has to tell? Yeah. And it was very special to me. And it was written by Michael Elson and Stephen Swatkins, which are fabulous instrumentalists in their own right. And also the second half, where all the dreamy oohs are, it was actually created in a rehearsal for my annual birthday celebration, which I call Edibration, last year. Okay. And that was from Chris Turner and Tyrone Hendrix. And they played with Liv Warfield, Stevie Wonder, all these different people. And they're my friends.
Okay.
But, Don't Ask. That's why it was. And Chris actually said in that rehearsal that's going to be a hit. And I was like, okay, I guess you don't. I didn't shrug it off, but when he says something, it usually comes into fruition. So, but it came from a very special place. I wrote all the lyrics and whatnot and the melody, but it. Sometimes you just don't need to know the questions, or you don't need to know the answers. There you go. Don't need to know the answers to the questions that you think you do, unless you're ready for them. And it goes in many different. It applies to many different situations. I'll say it like that. Not necessarily just relationships.
Right.
And
well, here it
don't
is.
ask the question.
All right. Well, I'm about to spin it. You stay in that seat, Arietta, and we'll be right back.
Okay.